In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the two best watches that each of the two companies have to offer. So Apple with their Apple Watch Ultra and Samsung with the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro. So to begin the review, both of these watches are fantastic. They're absolutely fantastic and you won't really go wrong with getting either of the two, but that's kind of tricky because the Apple Watch obviously only works with iPhones and the Galaxy Watch will work with basically any Android phone as long as you install the Galaxy Wearables application. So when it comes to kind of universal capabilities, the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro kind of takes the win because you can use it on just way more phones. So first things first is the price difference. So the Apple Watch comes in one size, 49mm, and the price is $799. That's kind of hefty. The Galaxy Watch 5 Pro also comes in one size, 45mm, and the price is between $450 to $500 depending on the model. Both of these watches do offer LTE, so you can leave your phone at home and still receive calls and texts when you're out and about, so no worries there. Now, one of the biggest differences in these two watches is the actual build quality. So Apple uses more premium materials such as bare titanium, and then on the back, you actually have ceramic. So this plate right here is ceramic. Meanwhile, the entire shell is bare titanium. With the Samsung, on the other hand, they say that this is titanium, but I believe only this border around is titanium because this back plate, I'm not sure if it's plastic, but it doesn't feel premium. It feels like it's plastic. So I'm not sure if this is titanium as well, but if it is, well, that's good. But you also have to kind of be careful because this is painted titanium. So if you scratch this, scratches on the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro will be much more noticeable than scratches on the Apple Watch Ultra because once you scratch this paint off, you'll just get the bare titanium peeking through. So you gotta be careful. Both watches do have sapphire crystal, so scratching them should be nearly impossible. Now, when it comes to battery life, it's kind of surprising, I should say. Apple was marketing the Ultra to last 36 hours, but I'm constantly seeing 48 hours or 2 days of use, which is exactly what I'm getting on the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro. Both of the watches get me 2 days on the dot. Like no more, no less. Just boom, 2 days, 48 hours, both the watches are dead. So how do I use my smartwatches? Well, at 5:30, I wake up, I take them off the charger. An hour later, I go to the gym for about an hour and I record a 1-hour workout using the fitness applications. And then during the day, I use my smartwatches like any other person. I check notifications, reply to a few text messages, make a quick phone call or two, sometimes not even that. I just kind of use the watch normally, some quick NFC payments if I'm at the store. Normal usage. And then at the afternoon around 5:36 p.m. I go for a 1-hour run and I also track that run as well. And then I also track the sleep later on that night. So I track about a 6 to 7 hour sleep. And then on the second day, I repeat that. So that's kind of how I use my smartwatches, which I should say is kind of more than the average person. The average person is not going to record close to 2 hours of working out every single day. Maybe you do. If you do, hey, this watch is going to last you 2 days. If you don't even track any workouts, both of these watches will get you over 2 days. Now, when it comes to physical differences, the Apple Watch Ultra does top out the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro in terms of the SOS siren, which blasts out of this speaker hole right there. And it blasts this crazy loud and specific sound just in case you're in a rough situation, or the automatic crash detection, which will automatically notify your emergency contacts and the police when you do get into a car accident, which is great because let's say you get into a car accident and then you pass out. Meanwhile, you're bleeding out. Like, you got minutes left. You might as well have the watch contact someone for you, and it will. Now, another physical difference that the Apple Watch Ultra has is some of the best call quality that I have ever heard coming from a watch. During my testing, the person on the other end thought that I was calling from my phone instead of the watch. And that's because Apple uses a 3-microphone array. You can see one of the microphones there, another one right there, and then the third one is located right here. So when all of those 3 microphones come into play, you get some of the best call quality from any wearable. But also, since the speaker here is so huge, this is your first speaker, and then this is the other speaker right here. So whenever you're calling someone, their voice is going to be coming out of here and here simultaneously. And since this is so large, I mean, if you compare it to the Galaxy Watch, which you can see right there, those two little paper thin holes, that's where the voice is going to be coming from. So obviously, I mean, you can't really compare them. The Apple Watch is definitely the better thing to purchase if you care about call quality. And on this side, the Apple Watch Ultra also has a depth sensor and a water temperature gauge for those of you that like to go diving. I've literally never went diving in my entire life, so, that's not for me, but, it could be for you. Now, the similarities of these two watches include the ECG, the heart rate tracking, sleep tracking, step tracking, GPS, LTE, and of course the beautiful AMOLED display. So both of these watches have the basics of being a really good smartwatch. But I will warn you though, if you are planning on using these watches outside during the majority of your time, the Apple Watch Ultra does get much, much brighter. And of course, that's because of the 2000 nit display versus the 1000 nit display on the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro. It's really hard to show on camera, but trust me, in person, the difference is quite, even right here with the always on display, you can clearly see, it looks like the Apple Watch Ultra is actually on, but that's the always on display. Now it's on. Now, when it comes to GPS accuracy, both of these watches are really, really solid, and they're both basically spot on. You would have to be a very nitpicky person to choose either of the two. Sometimes the Apple Watch Ultra, if you're running along a road and then you make a curve, sometimes the Apple Watch Ultra will make that curve a little too tight. Sometimes the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro will make that curve a little too wide. If you care about that minute detail, none of these watches are good, and you should probably get a Garmin anyway. But when it comes to just the average person going out for a run or tracking your workouts, going for a hike, both of these watches are going to be way more than good. Same thing goes for tracking distance, tracking your steps, or even your calories burned. But please make sure, not a lot of people know this, but to track how much calories you're burning, you have to update your weight on the application. So if you have an Apple Watch, you have to update your weight on the Apple Watch Health application. If you have the Samsung phone, you have to update your weight on the Samsung Galaxy Health application. Samsung Health is what it's called. You have to update how much you weigh, because if you don't update that, your calories aren't going to be as accurate as you would want it to be. So definitely update your weight if you want great estimates with how much calories you're burning on each workout. Now, the operating system on both of these watches are different, and I can't say which is better because they basically do the same stuff, just differently. So for example, on the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro, to get to your control panel, you just swipe down and you have all your settings right here. On the Apple Watch, all you got to do is swipe up, and then you have those same settings, and you can even edit and add any other setting that you wish. On the Galaxy Watch, if you did have notifications, all you had to do is just swipe this way. And on the Apple Watch, all you got to do is pull down. And I made 40 cents yesterday with cashback. Gee, thanks. So let me go buy a car, I guess. On the Galaxy Watch, to get to your apps, all you got to do is swipe up, and we've all seen this before. So here we have, for example, Spotify, Google Assistant, Messages, and you can even add your own as well. So that's how you do it on here. And on the Apple Watch, all you got to do is put in your password first, and then click the digital crown. And then here you have all your apps as well. And you can even reorganize it to be in a list or in this little diagram over here. So you have options. Now, to start a workout on the Galaxy Watch, all you got to do is swipe right and keep swiping until you get to your workouts. Here you have walking, running, cycling. Those are my favorites. And you even have more, so you can kind of select between each. There's hundreds probably. You can even add your own. So, we're talking about a lot. But that's how you get to the workouts on the Galaxy Watch. Now, on the Apple Watch, this is not fair because, this has a programmable button right here. So I programmed mine to automatically take me to the workouts. So once I click it once, I'm already in the workouts. And then I can just spin the digital crown or use the touch screen to kind of pick whichever ones I want. Like I said, just like on the Galaxy Watch, you have a ton. So you can even add your own, just like on the Galaxy Watch. Here you have badminton, basketball, cross training. I mean, you have like a lot. So as you guys can see, when it comes to the operating system, they're basically the same, just different methods. It kind of just depends which you prefer. Now, in terms of charging speed, the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro will take you close to 2 hours to charge from 0 to 100%. Meanwhile, the Apple Watch Ultra will take you about an hour and a half. So you are saving a 30-minute difference right there. So kind of take it for what you will. Is that important for you? Is that not important for you? Do you charge every 2 days? Do you charge every day? Do you charge at the last minute? All those things kind of depend on your lifestyle. So which watch is objectively better? Well, if we take a look at the physical differences such as the screen brightness, the safety features, the build quality, the call quality, the speaker quality, charging speed, water depth sensor, water temperature sensor, I mean, the Apple Watch Ultra is clearly the better outdoor lifestyle smartwatch. But that's not to say the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro is bad by any means. Like I said in the beginning, I like both of these watches. They're just made for two different groups of people. And plus, if I'm being honest, I prefer my Garmin's anyway, so I don't have a fight in this game. For me, for my lifestyle, the Garmin's will absolutely destroy both of these watches. So I'm sticking with my Garmin's. just a fair warning, guys. But what I can say is that the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro definitely looks like the more classy watch. It looks like the watch that you can kind of wear kind of anywhere, honestly, and it doesn't really stick out. It doesn't really yell, hey, look at me. You know, there's no big red or orange button on the Galaxy Watch. It's just a nice, very nice and subtle design. Maybe that's good for you. Maybe you like it. Maybe you like it this way. Maybe you want a kind of a different design for something that's called the Pro. But the Apple Watch Ultra does definitely look and feel like it's a heavy duty watch, you know? So this might not go with all your outfits. Maybe if you go out to a fancy dinner, it kind of depends, really. But it's not a bad looking watch by any means. I really like the way it looks like. So like I said, it all just comes down to personal preference. So which ones do you guys prefer? Let me know down below. This was Mark from Mark's Tech. Adios.